And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the StarCraft Evolution League number 2. I'm of course your ZvT, and with me I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and this interesting mod as well. Welcome to an event that is not StarCraft 2. Instead, welcome to StarCraft Evolution, an amalgamation, a combination, in a way, of Brood War and StarCraft 2. Here we go. Of course, we've been covering this event over the past couple of weeks. I mean, previously we had the HSL, now we have here the SEL instead. We have our first series of the night, exclamation mark B in the chat. If you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves, the bracket is big, the bracket is stacked, many of familiar faces, and some others as well. Interesting, as we are jumping into our fresh best of 3 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Sylphid, we have the Polish Zerg player, the purple Zerg. It is Snoxtar. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the yellow Terran player. It is Niarecal. Yeah? There we go. But here we go. Of course, this is a 3-player spawn, 3-player map. You can actually load in and spawn in towards the north instead, or towards either side. Bit of a triangular spawn location, and we'll see how Snoxtar can piece together what's going on. Overlord is being sent towards the north, and Snoxtar is playing SC2 Zerg. Meanwhile, our Terran player here is rolling the Brood War Terran race instead. For those that are curious about the mod, about how this works, is that the Brood War races have been introduced, have been incorporated, have been modded over in SE2, and they have been, of course, adjusted and balanced in their own way. They're not carbon copies of the Brood War races, but they are similar enough, and they are being updated and adjusted over time. Likewise, these are some of the older Brood War maps as well that have also been kind of adapted here to the SE2 engine, and we'll see how this all turns out. It's been a lot of fun, honestly. It's been a lot of fun kind of seeing the SE2 races up against the Brood War races. Has led to a lot of very entertaining matches, especially with these wild maps. I say wild maps, just maps with features that have been since kind of filtered out over time. Overlord Scout comes in, likewise Overlord on the right hand side, and with this, Snoxtar will confirm the Terran is not here. The Terran has not spawned in towards the north. There is no opponent, at least not in this location, so now Snoxtar is aware he's towards the bottom right instead. Now we do have a setup here. Oh my god, that's a lot of Raxes. No CC, no command center. Niar is going for a 1 base all in. That is going to be 4 Raxes in total, massing up Marines, and it's going to be all or nothing. Meanwhile, we do have an SCV scout across the map. The the expansion has been spotted. Oh, Niarecal even killing some of his own SCVs there to make more Marines. You don't see that too often. But 2 SCVs were killed here by our Terran player just to make extra Marines. Debo's just finished. He will supply look for a moment. Academy is done, and we have Stim being researched as we speak. As a reminder, in Brood War, there are no add-ons. In Brood War, there are no add-ons for these buildings. Instead, you do research Stim via the Academy instead. You heard the scream earlier. I can't trigger it, but the Academy does scream. Iconically. Gotta love those audio assets from Brood War. Meanwhile, more Marines are amassing. Snoxtar has kind of sniff this out. I mean, it's very suspect that there's no expansion. Very suspect. 2 Raxes have been spotted, but Snoxtar doesn't have confirmation. He's not fully aware of what's going on. He has an idea of what is happening. Safety Baneliness on the way. That is a 3-minute 15 Baneliness timing, so very safe timing here from Snoxtar. 3rd hatchery being thrown down to get his economy going, and we even have some spine crawlers as well. So Snoxtar, for the most part, he doesn't know exactly what kind of all in, but he knows aggression is coming, and he does come for the Marines. Yeah, he spots all the Marines. Big scout here for Snoxtar. He's aware that something's going on, something is amiss. He's aware of the mass bio. He's getting ready back at home with extra spine crawlers. I do like this. 1 spine crawler is not enough. We have a 2nd spine crawler on the way. We currently only have a minimum amount of queens, but we have lings and banelings in production as well. And here comes the all-in. The boys are being pulled. It's all or nothing for the Terran, and Snoxtar does confirm with the Overlord, does see the boys being pulled as well. As a result, I'm not so sure 2 spine crawlers is going to be enough, but lings, they already come in from behind. They chip away at the Marines, the SCVs. They will deal some damage here, even forcing a delay. Army does turn around, and reinforcements are getting caught out as well. Very nice start for Snoxtar, catching so many Marines. And Marines are going down one after the other. Meanwhile, across the map, Banelings are being morphed in. We have Lings, we have Banelings, we have 2 spine crawlers, and a Dream. Can Niar break this position? Can he bust them through? The Banelings have arrived. Banelings, they crash on in. Decent connections here on the Marines. The splits are not good enough, and just like that, the Marines, they crumble. GG gets called. Snoxtar holds, and Snoxtar will take game number 1. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. Snoxtar will take a lead in the series, and what a lead at that. Calm down. GG, well played. Snoxtar will survive the all-in, but again, it did a great job at scouting, more or less confirming what was going on, was able to get eyes on the lack of expansion, on all the Marines were amassing, more importantly, was able to slow down the all-in as well by coming in from behind, catching some of the SCVs, catching reinforcing Marines as well, did slow down the push, did buy some critical seconds to allow for more Banelings to morph in. GG. GG, well played. Snoxtar does take the first game, and now we're getting ready for game number 2. Now, my apologies, as I was so excited to jump into the first series and jump into the first game, I forgot predictions. So I do apologize, but if you're in the chat, we're already a game in. Predictions are open. I will do my best to be on top of predictions for the upcoming series. I'll do my best on that. I got ahead of myself. I apologize. I do apologize, but we're jumping into game number 2. You can get your gamba going in the chat. You can predict if you so choose. Place your points on the line if Niarecal can bounce back, or if Snoxtar will maintain the course and take the series. Game 2 is going to be on Retro. Let's go. Let us go. Screaming exactly what goes on in the academy I run. Oh no, not like this. Not like this. But yeah, that's what I love about this mod, is it's so nostalgic, like hearing the sound effects, whether it's of units, whether it's of buildings. It is a bit of a blast from the past, especially if you haven't seen and watched competitive Brood War in quite some time. But here we go, we're jumping into game 2, and now the roles have been reversed, because spawning in the top left hand corner of Retro, we have the Polish Zerg player. Last game was the SE2 Zerg, but now is going to be something quite different. As the Brood War Zerg player from land of Poland, it is Snoxtar. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the yellow Terran player. Now the SC2 Terran, it is Niarecal. Niarecal? Nia. Call him Nia. For now. And this time, looks like no one base all in. This time we have a depot here as a part of the choke point to wall off, to expand here at the natural location. On top of that, welcome to Retro, in more ways than one. And something very retro about this game, about this map, 4-player spawn. It's a 4-player spawn map, top left, or top right, bottom left, bottom right as well. It is a 4-player, every corner of the map you can spawn in on. There is a bit of RNG in play, and as a result, Snoxtar is scouting. First 2 Overlords, they get sent across the map to the corners of the map to scout for the spawn location to figure out what's going on. Despite that aggressive start, gas first here by Snoxtar. Delayed expansion from our purple Zerg player is going into faster link speed, and we'll see if he's going to be making use of that. But now we do have our Rex on the way. Again, it was a CC first. Bear that in mind. This was a very greedy build by the Terran player, going CC first into a delayed Rex. What I was gonna say is that we have seen Reaper Harass be quite successful against Brood War Zerg players, because obviously the Brood War Zerg has no queens. There are no queens to defend, so Reapers can wreak havoc. But again, it was a delayed Rex instead, so less aggressive. Likewise, just now going for an SCV scout. So even though Snoxtar knows, the Terran does not. Actually, the Terran should. As you can see here with the vision of the Terran, they can see the Overlord. So even though they're scouting bottom right, because of the Overlord positioning, they should be aware that the opponent's here towards the north. So there are these little things, these little cues that you can take to kind of get a read on where your opponent is. Meanwhile, Lings are going to be pushing on forward, and because of the delayed racks, there is no unit to defend. The depot is going to be delayed. Delay in the depot, that could even be a kill. Marine has arrived, but the depot should go down just barely, and the Lings, they can flood in. Link speed is still not quite done. The Lings, they slowly start stepping forward. They get on top of the Marine. They get on top of the SCVs, and GG gets called. No! GG gets called. The greed gets punished, and Snoxtar takes the series 2-0. GG. GG. So there's a lot that just went on here. If you recall, we pointed out that it was a more aggressive start from Snoxtar, going gas first. We pointed out it was gas first, it was gas, pull into hatchery, which meant faster link speed, which meant faster links as well. And we saw that because Snoxtar was able to scout his opponent, made use of the links. But not just that, it was a combination of things. It was Snoxtar being aggressive, but also the Terran player being greedy. Remember, it was CC first, so late racks, late units were produced. It was a Marine first, unfortunately, not a Reaper for that extra micro potential against slower lings. And alas, the wall was not finished either. So a lot kind of went right for Snoxtar there, and a lot went wrong for Nia. Regardless, GG, well played. With that, congratulations, Snoxtar will take the series, and Snoxtar will advance on into the next round, where they have soon to be another opponent. I say soon because that was a fast series, and I'm pretty sure the other series are still ongoing. Snoxtar. I should have realized that coming into this. It's my fault, my mistake. I was like, oh, Snoxtar, I haven't casted Snoxtar in months. I want to cast him. And then as we're loading in, I'm like, you know, he's a pretty cheesy player. I wonder if that translates to this game mode as well. Yeah, it does, kind of. I mean, game one was also the Terran player being cheesy, so it goes both ways. Regardless, with that, let us head over to the bracket and try to catch up on what's been going on. The bracket is quite large. The bracket is quite massive. There's a lot going on, a lot of players, a lot of matches.